Very warm welcome to children. Good afternoon. Today, children, we are going to start a new subtitle, that is feed management. Did you understand? Today, what we are going to see? Feed management. Okay, children. So, in the feed management, what we are going to look after? We are going to look after the following aspects, that is how the cattle feed is managed, and also we are going to look after improvement of livestock development in India, in addition to that aquaculture and its types. Let us start. Feed management. Feed management, it does mean what? Dairy cattle, which are very important to give milk. Dairy cattle need balanced rations containing all the nutrients in proportional amounts, micronutrients, macronutrients, in the name of carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, fibers, minerals. A balanced ration containing all nutrients in proportional amounts and food additives which contain minerals, vitamins, antibiotics, hormones to promote growth of animals, to obtain good yield of milk, and also protecting them from the diseases. The cattle are raised in large number for the two reasons. One, to obtain milk, and also for the meat. So good yield of milk is very important. So the daily average feed ratio of milking cow is given. You can see 15 to 25 kilogram of roughages. The roughage which includes dry grass and green fodder. Green fodder is available in the name of fodder plants that can be provided, and 4 to 5 kilogram of grain mixture, wheat, maize, oats or barley, even rice gruel can be given as a grain mixture. The next is 100 to 50 liters, 100 to 150 liters of water. These animals are require large amount of water for the daily consumption. Providing these nutrients in proportional amount or right amount to the cattle to feed daily. Now we are going to see white revolution in India. The person who is in the picture called Dr. Verghese Kurian was known as the father of white revolution in India. He was the founder of National Dairy Development Board, NDDB, was called as architect of India's modern dairy industry, and also he was known as father of white revolution. So the father of white revolution is Dr. Verghese Kurian. National Dairy Development Board designed and implemented the world's largest dairy development program called as Operation Flood, which was designed by Dr. Verghese Kurian. In this point, mentioning the contribution of Dr. Verghese Kurian to the dairy development in India is enormous. He contributed a large amount of time, spending large amount of time for the development of dairy industry, especially cattle, the techniques to breed the cattle, and also the improvement of milk production in dairy industry. India is one of the largest producer of milk in the world. The next is improvement of livestock development in India. Improved breeding techniques in cattle have tremendously increased the production of new breeds with the help of new and modern techniques. These new breeds, which has high capacities of various qualities such as disease resistance against many diseases, high yielding or high milk producing capacities, resistant to droughts, and also other good qualities. The next, intensive cattle development program. It is based on the crossbreeding of indigenous cows with exotic breeds. Jersey and Sindhi of Indian cow are crossed together. Red Sindhi or Sindhi cow is indigenous, which crossed with European breed to increase the milk production. New methods and modern equipments are made available for machine milking of cows. Yearly, the machine milking is not done. Milkman comes and collect the milk from the cow and buffaloes, but it is not a good method. So machine milking of cows is commonly applied in most of the modern dairy industries in India. Operation Flood Program. Improvement of livestock Operation Flood Program. It is based on the dairy commodity. It is based on the dairy commodity aid to increase the milk supply in urban areas through by large size containers packets to the peoples for consumption. Okay, children, now we will continue the next, aquaculture. Aquaculture is nothing but rearing of commercially important aquatic organisms like fishes, prawns, shrimps, crabs, lobsters, edible oysters, pearl oysters, seaweeds under the controlled condition or controlled confined environmental conditions using advancement in technologies. Aquaculture is one of the industry in India increases the rural income for the self-employed peoples. It is also helps the integrated farming of plants with aquaculture organisms. There are two types of aquaculture. One is rearing of economically important aquatic animals such as fish, crabs, shrimps in fresh water. Another one is marine water. So there are the two types of aquaculture. One is freshwater aquaculture. The second one is marine water aquaculture, also called as mariculture. Freshwater culture. Freshwater aquaculture is nothing but rearing of aquatic organisms in freshwater. The freshwater bodies such as ponds, pools, large size reservoirs such as dams, lakes, etc. So rearing of aquatic organism in freshwater called freshwater aquaculture. Freshwater aquaculture is practiced to carry out growing or rearing of aquatic animals in ponds, river, dams, lake. Even sometimes it is practiced in cold water. Freshwater animals such as fishes, tilapia, crabs, cutla, rogu, mergal, catfishes, air-breathing fishes called viral fishes are cultured in fresh waters. In India, it is practiced in ponds, pools, or fish farms in which the farmlands. The next is marine water aquaculture or mariculture. It's an important question, children. Marine water aquaculture, the cultivation of aquatic organisms in seawater. This is also referred as sea farming or mariculture. The culture of organism is carried out along the sea coast called inshore area or in deep sea. In India, Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute, established by Government of India in 1947 at Cochin, Kerala State. Its main focus is marine fisheries, landings, research on taxonomy and bioeconomic characteristic feature of marine organism. Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture, established in 1987 as headquarters in Chennai. The main objective of this aquaculture practice is the management of sustainable culture system of finfish and shellfish in brackish water. This Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture is in East Coast Road of Chennai. This assists the small aqua farmers in finfish and shrimp farming by providing sustainable modern technologies. Now you see, children, organisms like shrimp, prawn, pearl oyster, edible oysters, mussels, finfishes, finfishes such as salmons, sea bass, milkfishes, mullets are cultured in marine water. You can see the animals which is being cultivated. This person is having sea bass in his hand. You can see the large animal, and the fishermen are practicing aquaculture in marine water. You can see the tiger prawn, which is commonly known as tiger prawn, known as Pinus species. And in this picture, you can see the oyster. Next, prospects of aquaculture. Aquaculture has become the fastest growing food producing sector to meet the demand of food and nutrition to the growing population through the increased production from the aquatic food resources. Its main aim is at blue revolution. It is a major source of export and foreign exchange earnings for the country. It generates rural employment through the fish farming and underdeveloped area to earn and increase the economic status of peoples, those who are practicing the aquaculture. Tamil Nadu state is the leading state endowed with rich fishery resource from marine, inland and coastal aquaculture. The marine fisheries potential of the state is estimated at 0.719 million tons. Tamil Nadu ranks 6 among the marine states in coastal farming, children. I hope, children, you are all enjoying what is meant by aquaculture, what are the types of aquaculture through this video. With the help of textbook, go through the lesson. you can ask doubts at any time. Thank you. We will meet once again.